Eating healthy food is important to me, but eating delicious food is a requirement. I'm going to show you how I shop for and prepare an entire week's worth of healthy, balanced, and most importantly, delicious meals. Hi, my name is Maria Gazin. I'm a personal trainer with a degree in exercise science and a bunch of other certifications, including nutrition. But I think most of my expertise with regards to food comes from the 14 years I spent in the restaurant industry, as well as over a decade of experience making healthy, delicious meals for my husband and me. I also have the added benefit of having a husband who worked as a cook for over 5 years, who's taught me all kinds of techniques and tips and tricks that make creating delicious meals as easy as possible. If you want to learn more about me, find me on Instagram and TikTok and check out my website. All the links are below. Now back to the food. The reason making food taste delicious is so important to me is because we basically eat the same thing every week. That's just kind of how it has to go when you prioritize your health. You want to eat healthy, but you can't be putting pressure on yourself to come up with new, exciting, and healthy meals every day. And you also can't expect to sustain a diet that's boring and flavorless. That's just unrealistic. And eating the same meals every week will inevitably become boring no matter how much you enjoy them. So if you make it taste good, at least you can just go through the motions, make the food, and you know you're going to enjoy it once it's made. The point of this video is to provide ideas for 1 week's worth of healthy and delicious meals that are realistic and obviously sustainable because we've been eating the same thing every week for years now. So let's get into it. Okay, so first let's start with the grocery list. I go grocery shopping once a week for the weekday meals, and this is typically on Wednesdays. Weekends are reserved for meals outside the normal routine, so we end up making a secondary trip on Saturdays usually, and we just buy whatever we want or need for the weekend. So let's start with protein. Every week, I will buy one large pack of chicken thighs, boneless and skinless, and there are 8 thighs usually to this pack. And then I'll also get 2 smaller packs of bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs that come with 4 thighs per pack. I'll also get a tri-tip steak at about 2¼ pounds, 1 carton of eggs, if we can. And then every other week, I'll get 1 2-pound bag of shrimp. And once per month, we'll make a trip to the big grocery store and buy a 4-pack of choice New York strip steaks. Next, let's go over veggies. Every week, I get 3 heads of broccoli, pretty large heads, 1 head of cauliflower, 1 pound bag of green beans, a carton of mushrooms, 2 6-ounce bags of snow peas, which makes up just 1 meal's worth of snow peas, 3 zucchinis, and a 16-ounce box of baby spinach and kale mix. This baby spinach and kale mix is so necessary for me to have on hand, especially when there are no vegetables left over from any previous dinners, because it's so easy to just throw in a pot, cook down, and add protein and starch, and you have a full meal. I'll also get 1 head of iceberg lettuce, and then I just always have on hand onions, garlic, carrots, celery, cilantro, green onions, frozen peas, and corn. Let's go over fruits next. I usually buy 7 to 8 bananas, depending on the size, and we get 1 pack of strawberries, which is supposed to be a pound of strawberries, 1 pint of small sweet tomatoes, and then I always have on hand a bag of Gala apples and frozen blueberries. Next, let's talk about starches. Every week, I get 1 large russet potato, 2 large red potatoes, 2 large golden potatoes, and 2 large sweet potatoes. I also get 1 box of frosted mini wheats. This is a great source of fiber, and it also makes a great dessert. And then I always have on hand rice. We have brown, basmati, and sushi at all times. I always have pasta. We have long and short pastas. And then I always have a bag of ready-to-make tortillas in the fridge, a can of pinto beans, and a can of black beans. Let's move on to dairy. Every week I get a half-gallon skim milk, chocolate milk, and whole milk, all Mootopia brand because I'm lactose intolerant, a 24-ounce carton of small curd cottage cheese, and we always have on hand vanilla Greek yogurt and sour cream, and plenty of cheeses. My favorites are extra sharp cheddar, medium cheddar, Munster, blue cheese, and Parmesan. Fats are a little bit different because we don't run out of these necessarily every week, so I just kind of buy them as I need them. So every week I make sure to get 1 or 2 avocados, but then I just always make sure to have on hand peanut butter, pecans, olive oil, vegetable oil, sesame oil, unsalted butter, garlic infused olive oil, I make this myself. Let me know in the comments if you'd like the recipe. And then there's a bunch of other things that I always make sure to have on hand, like seasonings and vinegars. I always have balsamic vinegar, rice vinegar, white vinegar, lemons, limes, gochujang, which is a Korean chili paste, soy sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, ginger powder, tenderizer. This tenderizer is flavorless and it's just made with pineapple enzymes, and it's really great to add to like beef fajitas or steaks and make them really nice and tender. I also always have Italian seasoning blend of some sort. We have white and brown sugar, cornstarch, all-purpose flour, cornmeal, and then we have our hot sauces like Cholula, Tapatio, and chili oil. And I always be sure to have dark chocolate and white chocolate bars. And then we always have a bag of frozen dumplings in the freezer. There's a restaurant in Austin called Julie's Noodles, and we love their dumplings. And they actually sell 50 packs of their dumplings. So about once a month, we run up there and we get a pack of pork and shrimp dumplings that we keep in the freezer. And it's so awesome to have on hand for a snack or just to add to any meal. And of course, they're delicious and amazing. If you love dumplings, I highly recommend checking with your favorite Chinese restaurant to see if they have this option. If you have any questions about my grocery list, drop a comment below and I'll be happy to answer. So now that we have the grocery shopping out of the way, let's start with breakfasts and snacks because those are typically the same every day for both me and my husband. Just for context, I start eating every day at noon and my husband starts eating every day at 2. And we also just recently found out that he's allergic to rice. But anyway, I always break my fast with a protein shake and a scoop of creatine. This is the protein and creatine we use. My husband breaks his fast with lunch, which is always leftover chicken or beef, potatoes, and whatever vegetables are left over. After my workout, I have a snack, which consists of vanilla Greek yogurt with half a banana, blueberries, and pecans. My husband's snacks are cottage cheese, blueberries, and a scoop of peanut butter, and 2 scrambled eggs, a small bowl of frosted mini wheats, and an apple. If you have any questions about our breakfasts or snacks, please comment below and I'll give you some more details. Now let's talk about lunches and dinners. I'm going to break this down by the day. On Mondays for lunch, I have chicken tacos, which are left over from Friday, sauteed zucchini, refried beans, which are also left over from Friday, sour cream, and guacamole. And then for dinner, I'll make roasted chicken thighs, steamed green beans, and mashed sweet potatoes. I put all 8 chicken thighs on a baking sheet and season them with olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and then I use the broiler to get them nice and browned and delicious looking and tasting. I always make extra so we have some left over for lunches, and I use really basic seasoning so they can be used in a variety of dishes. Then I'll use the chicken juice in the bottom of the baking sheet on the green beans, as well as a squeeze of lemon and some salt and pepper. This is the most boring meal of our entire week, in my opinion, but as I've said before, while I may not be super excited about this meal anymore, I know it always tastes delicious. So I just make myself go through the motions at this point, and I'm always satisfied at the end of the day. Also, it's highly interchangeable. We can replace the green beans with any other vegetable that we might like or that might be on sale, such as asparagus, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, etc. Also, the sweet potatoes can be replaced with just regular mashed potatoes or roasted potatoes or any other starch that you might like. We like to keep most of our meals this way, and it's a really great way to avoid boredom. Anyway, let's move on to Tuesday. For lunch, I'll have a chicken thigh that's left over from Monday, sauteed spinach and kale from the box, and mac and cheese, which is left over from Sunday. And then for dinner, I will sear and roast a tri-tip steak, and then I'll pair that with steamed and then sauteed broccoli, onions, mushrooms, and garlic, and steamed rice for me, and air-fried golden potatoes for my husband, and homemade kimchi as a garnish. This can be seasoned any way you like. We typically go Asian with this meal, so I'll brush on a glaze of sugar, soy sauce, gochujang, ginger powder, garlic, and onion before roasting the steak. Also, just a note, when I get home from the grocery store, I'll marinate the tri-tip with tenderizer, soy sauce, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of olive oil, and then I freeze it. The soy sauce and the tenderizer add the salt component, and the freezing process seems to make the meat more tender, so I'll typically take it out of the freezer on Saturday and put it in the fridge to thaw it for Tuesday. I also make sure to make enough rice and potatoes at this meal to have at least 1 meal's worth left over for both of us. On Wednesdays, lunches are reserved for ordering out or something spontaneous. I think it's a really good idea to reserve space for spontaneity because it will keep the boredom away. Lunch options include sandwiches, either homemade or bought, Thai food, pho, stuff like that. And then for dinner, I'll make sauteed shrimp. We use half the bag with steamed snow peas and pasta. Because of the snow peas, I'll typically flavor this with soy sauce and sesame oil, but you can flavor it however you'd like, just garlic, butter, or whatever flavors you enjoy. On Thursdays, lunch is going to be a chicken thigh left over from Monday, spinach and kale from the box, and rice or pasta, whichever I have left over. And then for dinner, since it's the winter season, I've been making creamy chicken and dumpling soup with carrots, celery, onions, and mushrooms. This is my grandma's recipe and it's made with homemade stock and dumplings, and I make it creamy by adding cauliflower puree. And then on Friday, for lunch, I'll have chicken and soup, which is left over from Thursday, or I'll have tri-tip steak tacos with kimchi left over from Tuesday. I like to keep this lunch on the lighter side because on Fridays we go out and we typically have a snack when we're out. And then for dinner, I make chicken tinga tacos, refried beans, and iceberg salad with sour cream and guacamole. Since we get home late on Fridays, I'll make the chicken, guac, and beans before we go out. That way, when we get home, all we have to do is heat up tortillas and shred some chicken. And that basically sums up all of the weekday meals. If you have any questions about recipes or cooking techniques for any of that, please comment below and I'd be happy to provide more details. Plus, let's be honest, I'm a new YouTuber. A noober? So I need the engagement. Now let's talk about the weekend. Saturday is reserved for spontaneity, which, as I've said before, is very important to me. This is when we get to be creative and try to satisfy cravings that we might have felt during the week. For us, before we really got it together, Saturdays used to be a freaking free-for-all. We treated it like a cheat day, which I'm now very against, and we would just try to eat the most decadent, crazy stuff we could think of. I talk all about that in a video called Cut It Out with the Cheat Meals on my IG page. But now that we're healing our relationships with food, there's no need to cheat because we're not restricted during the week at all. Instead, we just focus on eating foods that we truly enjoy that just may be less feasible to have during the week. I love to cook and bake and make things from scratch, and so on Saturdays, there's more time for that. Here are some examples of things I like to make on Saturdays. For lunches, we'll have something like fried shrimp tacos with cabbage slaw and avocado crema, ham, egg, and cheese toasties with homemade bread and salad from the kale and spinach mix, homemade sushi and dumplings from the freezer, homemade pizza and kale and spinach salad, stuff like that. And then for dinners, we'll make something like beef or chicken fajitas with Mexican rice, potatoes for the hubs, black beans and air-fried zucchini, fried chicken with roasted tomato sauce, pasta, air-fried zucchini and garlic bread, Cajun shrimp with jalapeno cornbread and zucchini succotash, Mexican street corn chicken with rice and potatoes and air-fried zucchini, or a lasagna with kale and spinach salad or air-fried zucchini. And then Sundays for lunches, we're going to have leftovers or we're going to dine in or take out from somewhere, again with the spontaneity. And then for dinners, we have a New York strip steak, roasted broccoli, and mac and cheese for me, and a baked potato for my husband. He's not allergic to mac and cheese, he just loves baked potatoes. So you're probably starting to see some patterns, like we stick zucchinis with anything. They're a staple in our house because they can go with just about everything. They do require a little technique to make them taste as good as possible, so reach out if you need any help with that. Also, there's a lot of homemade stuff like bread and roasted tomato sauce. I like to make as much as I can from scratch because then I know what's in it, but also it's fun for me. You can definitely buy bread and tomato sauce, but if you have the time and you enjoy making things, homemade always tastes better. And of course, let me know in the comments if you'd like recipes for any of the meals I've mentioned so far. And the last thing I want to talk about is fun stuff like desserts. During the week, I like to stick to easy stuff like some strawberries, frosted mini wheats, a piece or two of chocolate, a little scoop of peanut butter. But on the weekends, I like to make fun stuff like various fruit sherbets. This one is peach, but we've made strawberry, mango, blueberry, lemon, and cherry, all with frozen fruits. Blueberry lemon didn't turn out great, but mango and strawberry are my favorites. And this is what we use the whole milk for. I also love to make banana bread and banana muffins. There was a time when it was really difficult for us to eat all of our bananas, so we always have plenty of bananas in the freezer. I also love making cookies, cupcakes, cakes, chocolate candies. If I made bread that day, we may make French toast or PB&Js, and pancakes are another favorite dessert. Desserts are very important to me. Just food in general is very important to me, but it is also important to me that everyone understands that healthy and delicious are not mutually exclusive. I hope this video helped you get some ideas for healthy and delicious meals. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if my content interests you, subscribe to my channel. I just want to help people get healthier and feel happy, and the more likes and subscribers I get, the more people I can reach. Also, if you're interested in personal training and or nutrition counseling, check out my website. The link is down below, and I also offer online training. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.